Okay, let's dive into something that's really fundamental. It's a concept most people in the UK think they understand, but, well, they probably don't. I'm talking about land ownership. And believe it or not, the rules we live by today were set in motion over 1,000 years ago. They literally define the ground beneath your feet.
So let me ask you a question. If you live in the UK, do you own your home? I mean, you've got the keys, you've signed all the papers, you pay the mortgage every single month. It sure feels like it's yours, doesn't it? But here's the kicker. What if I told you that, in the eyes of the law,
You don't, and I'm not kidding. Legally, you do not own the land your house is sitting on. It sounds completely wild, I know, but this single shocking fact is the bedrock of all land law in England. And this brings us to what we can call the ownership illusion. You see, the legal relationship that most people have with their property, it isn't ownership in the way we usually think of it. It's something else entirely, something a lot more abstract.
So the big question is, if you don't own it, who does? Well, you might want to sit down for this. Technically, all land in England is owned by one person, the monarch. Yep, that's right. The king is the ultimate true owner of the entire country. Everybody else, and I mean everybody, from the grandest duke to a first-time buyer, is basically just holding that land for the crown.
And this is where we get into the legal nitty-gritty. It's a crucial difference. What you actually possess isn't the physical land itself. Instead, you hold an estate or an interest in that land. A good way to think about it is you don't own the thing itself, you own a bundle of rights related to that thing.
So how on earth did we end up here? Well, to get to the bottom of it, we have to jump in a time machine and go way, way back. Because this isn't some weird modern legal loophole. Its roots go deep, deep into medieval history and even theology. Back then, the thinking was actually pretty straightforward. The idea was that all land was a gift from God. Simple enough. But who did God give it to? Well, the chosen recipient on earth was, you guessed it, the monarch. This whole concept was tied up in the divine right of kings, which basically set up the king as God's official landlord. And you can see how this all played out over time. It all really kicks off in 1066, when the Normans came over and brought the feudal system with them. Fast forward to the 1200s, and the monarch's job title gets a major upgrade. He's not just king of the people anymore, he's king of the land. And the most incredible part? That ancient idea that the crown owns everything, it's still legally true today. It never went away.
This whole setup was the heart of what we call the feudal system. It was a way of organizing, well, everyone, into a very strict pyramid, and the foundation of that pyramid was land.
And that brings us to a really important word, tenure. You see, the king couldn't do everything himself. He needed soldiers, he needed people to work the fields, he needed loyalty. So what did he have to offer in return? Land. But, and this is the most important part, he never actually gave the land away. It was more like he granted permission to use it. Think of it less like a sale and more like a very, very long-term rental agreement, where the rent was paid in services, not cash.
It was a pretty simple deal, really. Step 1, the king owns all the land, but needs stuff done. Step 2, he grants a subject the right to use some of that land. And step 3, that subject provides a service in return, whether it's fighting in a war or farming the fields. A straightforward two-way street.
But of course, it couldn't stay that simple for long. The system got more complex with something called subinfeudation. That's a fancy word for a simple idea. The guy who got land from the king, say a powerful lord, could then turn around and grant his own tenures to people below him. This created this huge, cascading chain of promises and obligations.
And this is what it looked like in practice, a giant pyramid. Right at the very top, you've got the monarch. He grants tenure to his powerful lords. Those lords need soldiers, so they grant tenure to knights in exchange for military service. And the knights? They need the land worked, so they grant tenure to peasants in exchange for their labor. The land itself never moves, it always belongs to the crown. It's the right to use it that flows down the pyramid, while the services, the fighting, the farming, all flow back up.
Okay, so that's the medieval history lesson over. But how did we get from that system of tenure to what we have today? Well, the crazy thing is, the basic idea never really went away. It just evolved. It transformed into the modern legal concept of an estate.
An estate in land. That's the modern term for what you get when you buy property. And the key to understanding it is right there in the definition. You own a right in the land for a specific period of time.
That last part is everything. It's the clue that unlocks this whole puzzle.
Here's the best way I've heard it described. You're not actually buying the dirt, the grass, the physical plot of Earth. What you're buying is a slice of time. It's a measurement of duration, the length of time during which you are legally allowed to possess and enjoy that land.
Think of it like this. Imagine all of time, from the beginning to the end, is one big circle. Your estate? It's just a slice of that circle. The land itself goes on forever, but your claim to it, your legal right, is fundamentally measured in time.
So, the natural question is, how big is your slice of time?
Well, that all depends. It comes down to which of the two main types of modern estates you actually hold.
Okay, so you've got two main options. The first is a freehold estate. This is the big one. Here, your slice of time is indefinite. It basically means forever, for all practical purposes. You can pass it on to your kids, and they can pass it on to theirs. Then you have a leasehold estate. With a leasehold, your slice of time is fixed and very specific. It could be 99 years or maybe 999 years. But the key is it has an end date. And when that clock hits 0, the right to the land goes back to the person who holds the freehold.
Now, this whole freehold thing, this is why we feel like we own our homes. It's what lawyers call de facto ownership, meaning in practice, it's yours. You can do what you want with it. You can sell it, build on it, leave it to someone in your will. But, and there's always a but, hiding deep in the legal code, thanks to 1,000 years of history, the crown is still the one true de jure or legal owner.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. We've gone from the Norman conquest and the divine right of kings all the way to the modern property market. So when you sign those papers and get the keys to a house in the UK, what are you really getting?
The answer is pretty profound. You're not buying a piece of England. You're not getting a chunk of the physical island. You are buying a piece of time. And that is a fascinating, slightly mind-bending thought to have next time you walk through your front door.